Girl, rock, girl, shorty came to win. Girl, rock, girl, shorty came to win. Girl, rock, girl, shorty came to win. Girl, rock, girl, shorty came to win.
What's up, guys? Mika here, the Traveling Terrell, back with another weekly vibe check. This one is particularly special because it is also the first episode of the I Came to Win podcast. So not only are you going to get, your weekly vibe check, so it's going to be good for any time you find this video. It is going to apply to that week. But also, I have an amazing interview with such a beautiful soul, Miss Veronica Paris, who is an intuitive trauma healer. She's just written a book called Transcend Your Trauma, and we talk about, some of the healing practices, and we just have a beautiful conversation. So thank you again for joining me. Make sure you hit that subscribe button because we're going to be doing a lot more episodes of the podcast, as well as share your success story. If you have a story or want to be on the podcast because you won in some way and you want to share that with somebody, definitely hit me up, okay? All the links will be in the description, as well as the links to her website and her social media. So thank you again for joining me. I'll see you guys in the reading, and then we'll get over to the interview. Bye. All right. Thank you guys again for joining me. This video is for the collective. They're general messages, so take them as they resonate. They are for anyone with any placements. If you found this video, no matter what week it is you find it, there's a message in it for you. So you're going to want to stick around to the end. A lot of things can show up literally all the way through to the end, okay? So I'm just going to pull one numerology card to get an overarching energy for the coming week. And then I'm going to go ahead and read the definition because they really do have some beautiful and direct messages. It's one of my favorite ways to communicate with the universe, honestly, is with numbers. I feel like I'm getting really direct answers when I'm, seeing angel numbers or just kind of tapping into the information they want to provide. Individuality. Okay. And then we do have spiritual partnership showing up as well. But the number is going to be 11, which is beautiful because 11 is all about it's the Justice card in tarot. So it's all about balance. It's all about harmony. And it's a Libra card. So let's go ahead and see. And as you guys know, that's funny because as soon as I open it up, we have domestic harmony. Okay. And as I was talking about that, so maybe some of you guys are looking to find some individuality within your partnerships or looking to come back to who you are. Or, I know I was definitely guilty of losing myself in relationships. And maybe this is an ask for you to tap back in to your true nature. And then that's also confirmed because spiritual partnership was at the bottom of the deck. So it really feels like your inner being, okay? And it's asking you to do that authentically and lovingly. But let's see what the actual card says here. It says, this card indicates a need to embrace your individuality and be your true, authentic self. I mean, I don't make this stuff up. Rather than follow the crowd, you're being guided to break away from the pack and take the road less traveled. And oh my gosh, I know that we're all supposed to be doing that because we are all living our own perspective. We are all having a very personal experience with God and with this energy. And it's okay. Wherever you are with it, just try to keep perspective as you navigate the ins and outs of shedding away the stuff that is keeping you from your individuality, to be honest. And that's why I was saying, with that being an 11 card, that breaks down to 2, all about duality, all about your relationship with yourself. And also being your authentic self. Shine. Who cares what other people think? Who cares how they respond to you? Because if you're doing it from a loving and authentic place, there's nothing else you can do. And if they're asking you to do it from another place, fuck that. We work too hard to be able to live free, to go back to any other bullshit. And that's the honest to goodness truth. And I never lied. Okay? Instead of feeling like you're a square peg in a round hole, you're being encouraged to build your own square hole. Ooh, I love that. And it's so perfect because that's, again, what this channel is all about. That's what this podcast is all about. Where is your lane? And rock that lane like you've never rocked it before. Allow it to take you to who you truly are authentically. And again, with spiritual partnership showing up, it's clearly about you and you, and it's a 9 card. You're being asked to step into your authentic self here, okay? And it says, let's see where we're at. You're being encouraged to build your own square hole. By drawing this card, you're being called upon to step up to the plate and celebrate your uniqueness. What you want matters. Who you are matters. How you want to see yourself matters. It doesn't matter. What doesn't matter is how other people see you, because they are living their own experience. And honestly, the more you tap into your authentic self and your individuality, you are going to meet those people that are doing the same thing. We live in a vibrational universe. That's what's happening, which is why we are striving to be more authentic, because that's spirit. Okay? At this time, you must have the courage to speak your truth and march to the beat of your own drum, despite the opinions of those around you. What others think of you isn't your business. There's nothing you can do about someone else's perspective of you. Because just by you walking into a room, somebody's perspective could come up, and it has nothing to do with anything you've done. So you can't really worry about how they're perceiving you. What others think of you isn't your business anyway, and it's impossible to please everybody. So you must focus on pleasing yourself. And I know that sounds really selfish, but the truth is if you're coming from a place of authenticity and love and truth and spirit, that is not selfish. That's giving more than anything, because you're giving your true self. That's what you're being asked to do here. And not only when you do that, are you giving your true self, but you're allowing other people to give their true selves. So there's no judgment. So people can just be free, which is what we're meant to do, which is what we're doing here. We're getting back to freedom. That's what this age of awakening especially is about. It says, okay, and it's impossible to please everybody, so you must focus on pleasing yourself. As you honor your individuality and your feelings, you will reclaim your personal power and enhance your connection to Source. If it comes from Source, there's a purpose. First of all, everything comes from Source, so everything has a purpose. But the truth is that if you're being asked to come from that place of Source, you just can't do any other thing. You wouldn't want to be around people that would ask you to do any other thing. When you do so, you can make your dreams come true. Your dreams are coming true. They're true. You're in the manifestation. And thank you for inspiring me to that. That was one of the most eye-opening things that helped me move forward, was like, all of it's the manifestation. Even the shit. The shit is meant to help you understand so that you can be ready for the next phase and continue to grow and expand. It really is a beautiful thing if you can see it from a broader perspective. And that's the work sometimes. I get that. In order to improve your current situation, you're being asked to adjust to and harmonize with the natural rhythm and cycles of your life. that are encouraging you to embrace your individuality. As you step into your power as your true, authentic self, you will improve your relationships with others and your overall quality of life. And the affirmation is, I embrace my individuality and become my true, authentic self. So that's what the energy of next week is going to be. And whatever that looks like to you is going to be the thing you're going to want to tap into. Let's go ahead and get one angel message so that we can get a little more depth. But we do have, when I pick up the deck, we do have Akasha showing up saying you are a spiritual teacher. All of us are. Whether do have a channel, whether you're up on a podium, or whether you're talking to your neighbor at the mailbox. We are all exchanging experiences and energy in a way that we are helping each other grow. Whether the a-hole who shows up lets me know that I'm vibrating at a-hole level, because that's how it works. The a-hole shows up to let me know, oh, that's where I'm vibrating. Now I get to choose in that moment, do I still want to keep attracting a-holes? Then I better work on my a-hole energy that I'm exuding, or my expectation of people being a-holes, that sort of thing, okay? But we're all spiritual teachers. Our experiences are valuable. Our perspectives are valuable because they're going to resonate with somebody in a way that it's going to help them understand their perspective deeper and be able to move forward towards their goals, which is to be who they truly are. Okay? You have the ability to counsel others and help them awaken their spiritual gifts and divine life's mission. There are no coincidences, okay? So just accept yourself just embrace all of it, really, because that's actually what we're meant to do here. We are definitely thinking under a new light and experiencing life in a different way, unless we're still thinking under the old regime, to be honest. And if you are, you're feeling it, and that's okay too. Because it's all valuable, it all comes from source, and it's all meant to bring you toward your highest good, which is your authentic, true, and loving self. But we have the angel message is from Aurora. It says, you are flying high right now, which may threaten others, but don't descend. Don't descend. Win, baby, win, because it doesn't matter, friend. Ooh, might have to write that down. But the truth is don't let any of that matter. What you're doing now from this moment on matters. That's it. Okay, it says, don't descend because others will soon become inspired by your example. That's why I say, remember, you are magic. You are the physical manifestation of source, God, energy, whatever you want to call it, it's irrelevant. Just understand that you're the physical manifestation of that. So you're supposed to shine. You're the star of your show. You came to win. Remember? That's what we're doing here. Okay? Then we have Ariel showing up. New psychic and spiritual experiences are changing the way you view the world and yourself. Allow your spiritual gifts to open through study, prayer, and meditation. They're saying don't dim your light there, okay? Tap into this experience that you're having and let it be yours authentically and truly. Blend yourself with that energy in a way that you are living as the star of your show. So let's go ahead and get into the tarot. We're going to start with the current energy, go into the area of focus, see if there's any challenges, get some advice, and then see what the possible outcome could be. And again, they are general messages, so just tap into what does resonate and take action, honestly. There's just, we know too much to let any other thing happen. Okay? I get that we are all living our own perspectives, and that's such a beautiful thing, because I won't let anybody else tell me how to connect to this energy, because now that I'm doing it my way, I'm connecting to the energy in a way that I can feel the support. I can feel the love. I don't feel like I'm performing to get marks on a card. Okay? I'm not trying to get into the club. I'm in the club. That's the point, and so are all of us. Take that too. That is so interesting, because we have the Seven of Cups coming up out of the gate. And I was just watching a reading, I think this morning or last night or something, and it was all about the Seven of Cups came out because it's the beginning of the week, the current energy. In fact, I think it was in the current position, was about choices, making the choice, not letting confusion. And then we did have the Page of Pentacles show up in the area of focus. Okay, so this is about learning and growing, but picking the thing that you want the most. And I think we even got this the last couple of weeks. You're being asked to tap into what's really going to inspire you, and what's really going to move you, and what's really going to move others. And even though we do have the Five of Wands showing up at the bottom of the deck, yes, this can indicate some type of competition or conflict. But in this deck, I love this deck, and I'm glad they inspired me to use it, because this one makes me feel more like support, especially as you focus on learning more, meeting people, like-minded people, getting yourself out there in ways, and you're moving towards that thing that's fulfilling you the most. Let's see what challenge may show up, if any. We can go ahead and get really clear on and understand, just look, it's energy. And the beautiful thing is even if you're a little off the rails, because it happens sometimes, you know what to do. And when you can find that break, hell, even when you go to sleep, that's the break. Take a nap. When you wake up, you're going to be able to at least a few minutes before you catch hold of that energy again, you're going to be able to, you have a choice there to decide to distract yourself, or focus on something else, or meditate, or write down what you're grateful for. You just have a choice for the first few minutes between you waking up and catching hold of that energy again, to slow it down before it starts again. You have to make a conscious choice to do that, especially with that Seven of Cups energy, because I know there's a lot of things that you're imagining yourself doing, but to bring it into the physical world, you need to pick one. You don't have to do anything, but to bring it into the physical world, and you're going to want to find the one that's the most authentic and the one that makes you feel the most you. Again, the thing that's going to fulfill you the most right now, learn about it, study about it, because not only, again, are you gaining some type of momentum and mastery, but you're showing the universe that this is who I am. You're embodying that, okay? And you are, like she says, allowing these experiences to let you shine, okay? And as I stop, we have the High Priestess showing up. Okay, this is your intuition showing up, letting you know they're here. Okay, and yeah, we do have and I think I'm going to go ahead and take both of them, because we have the Star and the Queen of Pentacles showing up as possible challenges. Now, the Star represents healing, and the Queen of Pentacles represents your physical world, physical manifestation. So maybe there is something in your physical world that may feel like a challenge. I'm going to definitely clarify. But with the Nine of Wands showing up at the bottom of the deck, you're almost at your wit's end with it. And it feels like maybe that's why this procrastination, because Seven of Cups can also represent too many choices, so you're not making any moves. But they are saying that if you can go ahead and move that energy towards studying, learning, growing. This is how you're going to gain the momentum, because this also represents new opportunities and new messages of money, or your physical world, something that's going to move you or help you heal your physical world, as a matter of fact. Some of you might already be in this energy, is what I'm feeling. And most importantly, the Queen of Pentacles is really, really standing out. The look on her face is that you guys have made some type of peace with something. But some of you, because this is a collective reading, might still be finding some challenge in that. But in either event, yes, this indicates that you might be at the end of your rope, but this also lets me know they want you to keep going, but fine tune your focus here. Fine tune it in a way where you are giving that energy to the thing that's going to fulfill you the most, okay? And that looks different to everybody. Maybe that's going to make you the most money. Maybe that's going to get you the most dates. I don't know. Whatever it is personal to you. But the most important thing is the energy isn't changed. The thing changes, but the energy is the same. Make a decision, line up with it, and start gaining momentum so that you can see the opportunities. And if you are finding this a challenge in some way, with the star and the healing your physical world, or a physical challenge that you might have, even a physical thing in your body, just know that you are gaining that momentum. I mean, even if it is a physical challenge and you want to be healthier, physically healthier, make that decision, line up with it by finding out about it, by doing it, by going to the gym, by looking for opportunities to learn more about it. And then that will heal that physical experience for you, okay? Hope that makes sense. Because it kind of does in my head, and when I watch it back, we shall see. 100% of the time it's been cohesive, so let's go ahead and get one. No, I'm sorry. We're going to be looking at the advice right now from Spirit. Because even again, with that Queen of Pentacles face, the way that it looks too, that could also line up with the advice. This is, you're going to be surprised at how easy things get. Funny that Five of Cups showed up there too, but how easy things get when you do allow this energy to guide you, when you do tap into your true self and move emotionally, energetically. That's the word. Thank you. But we do have the Five of Cups showing up in the advice. So it seems like to me, which I believe was even the advice last week or for the week before that, redirecting that focus. It seems like if there is anything that might still be lingering, that you still are trying to heal from, the only thing that you can do is redirect that focus with that Page of Pentacles energy coming in. This is how you are going to not only heal your situation, because I'm actually even hearing like partners, support, friends, like-minded individuals. So they're saying that's how you're going to heal this, by getting momentum in another direction. Because right now, if you are in this Five of Cups energy, the momentum is not moving in the direction that you want. And so you could be feeling a little bit of confusion, because the Seven of Cups can represent that as well. And again, with this being a collective reading, it could mean either of those things. There could be confusion, there could be procrastination, but overall it's saying, pick the thing that is going to fulfill you the most, the thing that you want the most, and go after it, and do it in a big way. Do it in your way, because you are the star of your show. Okay, and yeah, we do have the Five of Cups showing up with the Nine of Swords, which is confirming that some of you guys might still be focused on healing some type of physical thing or some type of physical challenge in your world. It could be money, it could be a relationship, it could be a partnership. And so the advice would be work towards redirecting that focus. So the Nine of Swords would say, remember these swords, this is all in your head. Okay. I was just talking to, I think it was Veronica, about faith and fear. And somebody told me that, hey, they both are things that haven't happened yet. So you have the choice to choose to be afraid that they won't happen, or you can choose faith and say, yeah, you know what? They will happen. And the beautiful thing about that is when you choose faith, you definitely get confirmation you made the right choice every single time. So the advice here would be to redirect your focus. Not allow whatever physical challenges you may be having right now. Because I got to tell you, January, as dynamic and everything as I felt, the first couple of days were a little bit weird. It was surprising, actually, but then when I looked back at the astrology, it made perfect sense. Like it does. Because when you tune in, it all makes sense. Yeah, so, I had to continue to choose through some wonky energy who I am now. And that's it. And you even trip up a little sometimes. You might even take a little bit of a step back in that shit for a second. And then you realize, oh, wait. Not only did I work super hard to get to where I am right now and refuse to live like that, but I have way too much evidence that I'm on the right track. And I have way too much evidence that moving towards and from a place of authenticity and love is the thing. So let's go ahead and get the outcome, and then we'll do a little clarifying, because I'm really interested to find out what else they want to say about this Queen of Pentacles in the challenge. Yeah. You're ready to take that action. By the end of the week, if you can get clear on whatever's happening here, or just take some type of action, is what it really feels like, towards, again, like-minded communities, people that are doing what you're doing. So not only will it keep you busy and focused and not, spiraling, because the spiral is definitely standing out on this Five of Cups right now, but it's going to keep you from spiraling, is open yourself up to new connections. Networking is really going to be something that helps as well, but it's going to help you see that there are opportunities out there. And by the end of the week, you're going to actually be moving this into, if it is a challenge for you, you're going to be moving it into an upright position, because in the upright, the Star and the Queen of Pentacles represents fulfillment and possibly money. But it could also be just something healing your physical body. Again, if you had, maybe some of you guys have had colds or have not felt that well for some reason, within the next by the end of the week, you're going to be able to see some improvement there with that Three of Wands showing up. But you do have to choose faith or choose fear, is really the truth. And I'm saying, with Spirit giving you a Five of Cups at the advice, they're saying, choose faith. You've done fear, and where has it gotten you? And I'm saying that right to the person that's recording this video. Where has choosing fear gotten us? In a place where we've been forced to choose faith and been thankful every single time, and I ain't ever lied. Okay? But we do have the Knight of Pentacles, so this is going to be a slow, methodical process, okay? And some of you guys, again, if you guys are in some type of confusion, there might be some type of delays coming in, but that doesn't mean they're not coming. All you have to do, and most of the time, it's just a perspective tick. Choose faith instead. If you feel overwhelmed by fear, distract yourself And I don't care what that is. As long as you're not keeping somebody else from doing what they want, go do it and do it until you don't think about what's holding you back right now or what's making you afraid. And then when the energy starts to move again, we have the Knight of Pentacles. One foot in front of the other, slow, methodical. Wait and watch. Let go, let God. Okay? So just be aware that there is that clarity coming in, but these are things that you must choose to truly see the progress. You must choose authenticity and love and truth. You must choose, even in the face of people that might be hating on you, or, you must choose these experiences, or people that might not want to see you thrive. Who cares? If that does make you mad, be mad then, because I can't let it impact me, is what I would be saying if I were you. And that's what I'm saying. At least they're smart enough to not do it in my face. Blessings to everybody. Bless everybody's heart, but I mean, come on. Make a decision. Line up with it. Take some type of action towards it. I don't care if it's going on a new path of learning. I don't care if it's trying to find other ways of doing things, but open yourself up to new opportunities as soon as you start to redirect your energy from this Five of Cups, okay? We have your physical being, physical body, physical world being healed within the next few weeks as you redirect your energy, because it is just a couple perspective ticks. And with the outcome being the Three of Wands, it lets me know that you will start to see progress soon, very fast, okay? And let's see, we'll go ahead with the Idols Tarot to do some clarifying. And then we will go ahead and send you off with an Angel of Abundance card. Because this is, and again, abundance is definitely money, but it's not just money. So it's too many cards. Take it as it resonates, because again, the energy is the same. It doesn't matter if you're looking for an abundance of support, love, friends, energy, whatever it is. Tell me about this Seven of Cups in the current position, and is it the dominant energy of that? I know we're in a collective energy, but what would be the dominant energy? Wait, it really wants to give me an ass load of cards, and that is still too many. Go ahead and that is helpful for my beautiful viewer to know. Thank you. Ooh, okay, yeah, no, that makes perfect sense, because we have the Hanged Man showing up with the Seven of Cups, and so that's how you're going to decide. It makes sense. I feel this feels, I don't know if I was watching a reading or if it's one of the readings I recently did, but the Hanged Man showing up with the Seven of Cups is representing you making that decision. But it feels like it's confirming that there's some of you guys that might be feeling confused. Yeah, and look, we have the King of Swords showing up, who's all about clarity, perspective, intellectual power. But there's some confusion there. Also, he's about perspective. So to gain perspective, and especially towards your authentic truth, you're definitely going to want to surrender, take a step back, evaluate, sort of feel into a situation, and even distract if you're finding yourself feeling this confused energy, especially at the beginning of the week. But most importantly, you'll either be able to receive the right thing, because you'll know that's the thing. If you know that's the thing that's the most fulfilling to you, you'll know, because it's going to feel that way when you think about it. It's going to feel that way when you talk about it. You're going to smile when you fantasize about it, those types of things. You'll be able to receive that clarity, because that's exactly what the Hangman represents. It's taking that step back and receiving perspective. Okay, so that you can clear up any confusion that you might be experiencing, or could also confirm the procrastination thing that maybe some of you guys have been so confused that you haven't been doing anything. But in either event, do nothing in a different way so that you can receive. No, I'm kidding. But I'm a dork, I know. But no, see things from a different. It really is about seeing things from a different perspective. Because also in that procrastination energy, it can definitely make you feel like a failure or like a loser. Okay, and that's why I was saying, if you are surrendering, again, remember, it's not what you're doing, it's how you're doing it. So if you are procrastinating or find yourself not doing anything, see if you can tap into your authentic self in those moments so that you can receive the right next steps. Okay, that's all I'm saying. And this is all about you receiving that clarity and truth with the King of Swords. Confirm this area of focus as the Page of Pentacles, please. Why did the Page of Pentacles show up in the area of focus? Thank you. Page of Wands. You see what I mean? It's all about you guys finding a new way of doing something. Before I did this reading, especially with the Page of Wands showing up, before I did this reading, I was shuffling and Adventure came out and I put it back in there. But right now with this Page of Wands showing up, it's really sticking out of my head. And so with the pages showing up both in the area of focus, it's important to take new action, find new ways of doing something, especially if you're feeling any confusion or stagnation. It will bring the clarity with the Ace of Swords showing up at the bottom of the deck. I love you guys, man. I really do. It's so perfect all the time. Yeah, you're, especially with this area of focus, you are definitely being asked to not only expect something new, but really to find a new way of doing something. Maybe you're feeling stagnant, and that would be why the Hanged Man would show up. Maybe you feel like you're also, because sometimes in a certain light, you know, the Hanged Man represents different perspective and all that, but it could also represent feeling stuck. But if you're feeling that way, it's asking you to make a decision and find a new way of, new approach. Okay, that will bring the clarity there. And that's another sword. We had the King of Swords at the bottom of the deck before as well. So it's definitely about you choosing a different perspective or taking some new action or learning something new so that you can get out of any confusion or stuck energy that you've been in. Please tell me about the challenge, the possible challenge of the Star and the Queen of Pentacles. How did those show up as the challenge? Do they need to know? Oh, that will help them understand. Oh, whoa. Yeah, okay, so that makes sense too. And especially with the Five of Pentacles showing up, it could be a challenge because you might not be able to see the plan or the way out. So take that as it resonates, but with the Five of Pentacles showing up, there's some sort of lack or some sort of scarcity or some sort of disease or something that you may have been experiencing for a long time and are not able to see a way out of it. And so it's hard for you to, thank you for that, find hope, because the Star also represents hope. Okay, and it's hard for you to possibly see, but they do want to reiterate that this star is shining brightly and it'll never extinguish. It's guiding you out. It's giving you the plan, but it is going to require you to receive it and do things differently. Okay? Be open to it. Honestly, find new ways of doing things, but that could be a challenge, and I can see why that would be a challenge, to be perfectly honest. Let me move this stack. Because, yeah, I mean, when you can't see the whole plan, you're like, how is this going to happen? And sometimes that slows down the progress. That's why when you find yourself in that confused, how is this going to happen energy, you just want to surrender. You just want to take a step back and say, okay, you're doing something here. Excuse me. I knew you're doing something here, so I'm just going to trust that. So why did the Five of Cups show up as the advice? Why did the Five of Cups show up as the advice? Why did the Five of Cups show up as the advice? Explosive. Yeah, and we have, that's so perfect. We have the 10 of Cups showing up with the 7 of Pentacles. The 5 of Cups is showing up as the advice because if you can redirect that focus, it's moving you towards the things that you've been working on creating. That's why the 10 of Pentacles would show up here. Yeah, especially with because it's keeping you from your 10 of Cups. Now that we're aware of that, all we have to do is redirect our focus. Get clear on what it is we are trying to create and find new ways of doing it. And you'll also find new ways of doing it by getting into like-minded communities. That's why they're saying it will get any type of loss or stagnant energy or even not knowing what to do energy. It'll cure that if you can redirect your focus. But yeah, that's the thing. It's keeping you from the stuff you've been working on. And so even if you've been seeing progress, it's like taking, a couple steps forward and 10 steps back. Sometimes it might feel that way. But they're saying it's only a perspective tick to take 20 more steps forward now. Especially once you decide what it is you're going to try to create. And I know we all want a lot of things, but focus on that one thing that means the most to you and get after it. But get after it in a way where you can receive new opportunities and new actions and new things to do to create it. And they say we are going to be seeing, by the end of the week, the progress. We're going to be seeing the progress, especially if you take the advice of making that decision, receiving it, to be perfectly honest. Receive the right places to go, receive the right people to talk to, receive the right actions to take is also why this Hanged Man would be showing up. Receive it, okay? But you do want to, your work is to decide what it is. Period. Full stop. I mean, that's literally it. Not go create it, not go find the people. Decide what it is and how it looks. And let Spirit inspire you to the action. Get that. We do have the 5 of Wands showing up in there, but especially in the outcome energy, it shows me with the Queen of Wands showing up that there is no competition. I mean, real talk. The truth is you are the star of your show. You create the world that you want. You're the Queen of Wands, King or Queen of Wands. There is no competition here. You might see competition, be comparing yourself to others. Nobody does it like you do it. Embrace that, especially by the end of the week. I think you're going to be feeling confident with that because the 3 of Wands does show up to let me know that you're going to be seeing evidence of this, especially again. Make that decision, line up with it. Open yourself up to new ways of doing it. Receive the plan. Try not to focus on the fact that you can't see the whole plan because that would be what this would be in the challenge as well. Try not to focus on the fact that you don't know because that's keeping you from seeing and receiving the plan. But focus on what you want with the 10 of Cups and leave whatever you feel you've lost in the past is the advice. And the outcome will be you seeing the progress, you seeing evidence, physical evidence, because now we're all about physical evidence. We've seen the spiritual evidence. It's time to see the physical evidence. But you get to choose. Okay? And just know that you, by the end of the week, or whatever week it is you find this, by the end of the week, if you take this advice, you step up, you're in your power. There is no, excuse me, I was touching the wrong card. You're in your power. There is no competition compared to you. The affirmation is, I am whole, I am complete, and I am the best. And that's true for every person who decides that's true for them. And it doesn't take away from the fact that I'm whole, I'm complete, and I'm the best. That's the beautiful thing. So, I hope something did resonate. If it did, please like, share, subscribe. Make sure you hit that notification bell. Definitely drop me a message if you have a success story that you want to share. If you'd like to be on future episodes of the I Came to Win podcast, we are getting ready to jump into the interview with Miss Veronica Paris, author of Transcend Your Trauma, and honestly one of the most beautiful souls that I've been in the presence of. I mean, the energy is palpable. Okay? So we're going to go ahead and pull you guys an Angel of Abundance card, and then we're going to send you into the interview with Miss Veronica Paris. Will be helpful for the coming week for the viewer. Is that Twitter? Nope. You guys know I like my flippers. I like my flippers. Yeah. Okay. It was a flipper. Thank you. Ooh, release jealousy. Oh, I love that so much. And I'm going to read it because I got to tell you, it's a trip. But yeah, release jealousy is definitely the card. And, excuse me, have the courage to ask for help. It says, jealousy is an affirmation that you don't have something. And the universe manifests exactly as you affirm. Remember, the universe always says yes. Another thing I was talking about with Veronica, you guys will see in the interview, the universe always just says yes. You get to decide what the question is by what you're exuding, what you're thinking, and what you're expecting, especially. Let other people's successes inspire you rather than frustrate you. If they can have it, so can you. Remember, you guys, we are here to win, and we are here to be the stars of our own show. Embrace this new energy. Embrace that truth, first of all. Embrace that truth. Give it all you got. Period. Okay? But remember, it is how you do something, not what you're doing. So also try to remain free-flowing and open to how it comes about with these pages showing up in the area of focus. Okay, they both showed up in the area, the area of focus. And we have courage and ask for and accept help. Asking for help is a sign of strength, as is accepting it as it's offered to you. Very often when you ask God for help, prayers are answered through other people. Be sure to accept this assistance, as well as give it to others as you are guided. Remember, you guys, we are all in this together. Let's remember that. Let's connect, join the groups. Let's freaking rock 2025 like it was 1999. R.I.P. Prince. Thanks again for joining me, guys. I love you so much. I am Mika, the Traveling Tarot. Let's get ready to get into the interview. Take care of each other. Peace. Hey, guys. Mika here, the Traveling Tarot. Thank you for joining us. We are doing the first episode of the I Came to Win podcast, and I am so blessed to be starting this new year out with new friends and a dynamic, motion forward energy. So I want to introduce you guys today to Veronica Paris, intuitive trauma healer, who has just written a book called Transcend Your Trauma, and she is here to discuss her story with us. So why don't you just tell us a little bit about your history and what brings you here today on the I Came to Win podcast?
Yeah, thank you, Mika. Thank you for having me. I am an intuitive trauma healer, and this work really came to me over 20 years ago when I began my own inner child healing journey. I'm a survivor of complex trauma, and I found when I started my healing process in the privacy of my own home, I was doing the traditional modalities like clinical therapy and group therapy and all the different types of therapy. But in the privacy of my home, I was doing a very unique intuitive process. And that has, through the years, taken a life of its own. And it's a big part of my world. It's my devotional work. And it's the love that I bring to other people as this intuitive healing process.
Oh, that's so perfect, because here on this channel, it's all about connecting to your intuition to win. And so I know that you said that you were doing those traditional modalities, and what made you, or did your intuition just kind of find a break in the clouds and start kind of shining through like it does?
Yeah, it was in the quiet moments of my meditation where I was working with an aspect of myself through my healing process. And in those times, in those quiet reflective times where I was either meditating or just going through an internal process of myself, is when it really started to take on a life of its own. And I tell people now, all these years later, it feels like a seed was planted within me.
Right, yeah.
You know about
yes,
the seed?
oh my gosh, and it just slowly grows over time, and because it's chipping away at the shell that it was. Absolutely. And I love that analogy, because a lot of people, when they think they're trying to connect to their intuition or understand it in some way, kind of feel like they failed at it if they don't have this big experience. And so it's great to reiterate that it is just planting a seed. It's those little things that do grow into bigger things that, again, take on a life of their own and become the tree.
100%. Yeah. And the seeds are like a whisper.
Oh, yes.
They are a whisper.
Oh my gosh,
it will ask for us to be intentionally present with ourselves, to quiet down the mind, to quiet down the noise, to create the space, to have the privacy, to really drop in, to listen.
It's so important. It's so funny, because yesterday morning I was pulling cards like I do most of the time, and not only did I get nature today, which is perfect, but I got subtle energy, and it makes perfect sense. It falls right in line with what you just said. It's so subtle sometimes that you are forced to tune out the other voices, or you might miss it. Again, not that it won't always be streaming to you, but you have to tune into it and choose to.
I love that, Mika.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's a very intentional choice we get to make for ourselves.
Yeah, absolutely. And so when you were going through that transformation, those many years ago, were you ready to embrace? Were you kind of at that point where you were like, I'm just, whatever's going to work. Like, I'm open to hearing, because I think that's the other thing that people don't understand, is you have to be open to it.
Yes,
it's
Mika.
subtle, so it's not going to beat you over the head.
Yes, absolutely. I had come to the place where I was at my third marriage, my third domestic violence alcoholic husband.
Oh gosh,
and
patterns.
The patterns were
palpable, and it gets bigger and bigger and
me.
bigger.
Right?
Totally.
But it was me like, everything is fine. Everything is fine.
Totally.
Right?
Totally.
So it was when I was walking out of the courtroom of the third restraining order that I really got in my car and I had what I call this come to Jesus moment, because I realized that I was the common denominator of all of this trauma around me.
Yeah.
And it was when I really did the about face, and I stopped looking out there outside of myself for some answer, either the man or the
confirmation.
job.
Yeah,
Something
absolutely.
to save me.
Yeah.
Somebody come
oh my
save
gosh,
me.
yes, I totally get that.
Yes, and I did that hard about face, and it was not easy.
It takes courage. I was just gonna say,
Courage,
it takes
Mika.
courage to accept your own shit. Is
Yes!
the truth. It just does, and
Yes.
when you do, it opens up for you.
Yes.
That's that seed, because inherently you know it doesn't ever go anywhere and it doesn't ever stop.
Right.
But you have to turn to it.
Yes, Mika. Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, so I love that, because I totally get that. Some things in our life we're going to have to get sick and tired of experiencing to listen.
Yes.
And that's when surrender is the most important.
Surrender, sweet
it
surrender.
brings you right to your purpose.
Yes.
It's really, and then you're kind of like, why didn't I surrender before? And then you're back into trying again in some other way, because
Right.
we're humaning too.
Right. We're trying to control all of the
Yes.
things.
Yeah.
And really the control is coping. What are we
Yes.
coping from? What are we
Yeah.
trying to escape from? And for me, I realized all of the controlling and to try to just manage, my life in ways that were self-destructive. It was my inner child reaching out to me, asking me, please, someone, please come see me.
Oh my
hear
gosh,
me."
the inner child. Yes,
Yeah.
it really does come back to that innocence of that inner child, and just all of the things that we've buried on top of it.
Repressed and suppressed.
Yes,
Yes.
yes. Oh, I love that so much. So what did you end up doing that kind of brought you to where you are now with that information that you were receiving?
Yeah, so intuitively I was being guided through this really beautiful energetic process where I would feel the heaviness in my heart, and that would be my flag on the field to practice the pause and to go within and to just be in a space of being self-exploratory, just curious, who's in here and what's going on.
Yeah.
And the more that I did that process of who's in here and what's going on, meaning what version of me is pulling at my heart, the more I began to realize that these were aspects of me, very similar to parts work. These were aspects of me that were left unhealed.
Oh yes,
they were fragmented in my field.
Like that's why I'm big on shadow work and addressing those parts, kind of embracing all of it and understanding it's all a part of you, and to not be ashamed of any of it.
Absolutely, Mika.
That's
Absolutely.
So good.
Yeah.
I love that.
So the more I started dedicating myself to these littles, they were so beautiful and so ready for me to be with them in a loving place, the more I began to see this little 4-year-old that had been sexually abused. I began to see the 8-year-old that had the alcoholic parents, and I began to see and communicate with these aspects of myself. And that's when the dialogues began to happen.
It's so important.
Yeah.
It's so important.
Yeah.
And so did those happen naturally? Were you seeking that, or were you just kind of open to whatever information you could receive to get there?
Yeah, that is a beautiful question, Mika, because there were parts of me that wanted to control it. There were parts of me that wanted to say, okay, 4-year-old, tell me everything.
What do I need to know?
Yes.
Come on, fix
Right.
this. Yeah.
But it's a beautiful question, because an important part of the process was letting them lead.
My goodness, and that seems like it's the work a lot, because we are so inclined to want to dig in and fix and just figure out and sort out, and it's like the work can sometimes really be surrendering.
Yes,
for sure.
And letting them lead, building that trust, rebuilding the trust. We've also abandoned them through the years of adulting and getting on with life. We got to get doing what we got to do. So they also asked for me to hold presence with them and be patient with them to rebuild our trust, my trust with my littles that were within me. And the more that I let them lead, the more the trust was developed and built, and the more that they would, if I just stayed there and held that loving, open space, the more that they would share with me.
And you're open to it, so now you're seeing it, you're really feeling the magic around you. And for me, I know, and I can concur with this. I mean, I've had, obviously we've all dealt with some things in life that we are healing from and reprogramming.
Yeah.
But I felt like I don't have to go after it. Like, it just sort of, the magic's all around me now.
Yes.
And now I'm tuned into it
Exactly.
in a way that I can receive.
Exactly, Mika.
Yeah.
Creating the safe container for them. That was it. Which meant practice the pause, create the space, and hold intentional presence. And be ready to receive them. Created the safe container for them to step forward.
Yeah, that is so beautiful.
Yeah.
That is so beautiful. And so cut to 2025, or you just released the book this year, or is it coming out?
So the book was released September 20th, 2024. So it's already out on Amazon.
Perfect.
Audiobook and paperback.
And we'll make sure we have links in the description for you guys. It's going to be a life-changing experience. Obviously, it was channeled and inspired by spirit. So anybody that does come in contact with, there's a message in it for you.
Absolutely. And in the book, I talk very authentically about my complex trauma, and more importantly, how I utilize the process of the energy helix to heal these aspects of myself. It's a very simple 4-step process. And I wanted to share a little bit about that.
I love it. Yes, please do.
The energy helix process, the way that I saw it through the years, is that we are all energy, right? So we are all energy. And when a life event happens to us that was not seen, heard, and loved at the time that it happened, it creates a pinched off part of us. So a pinched off energetic aspect of ourselves.
Almost like a garden hose when you fold it in half.
Yes, Mika.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
Wow.
So here's my 4-year-old sexually molested, right? Here's that 8-year-old that had the alcoholic parents. Here's the 13-year-old that was bullied in high school, right? And each aspect, pinched off part energetically, holds the persona of the time that the trauma happened.
And so when you even think about it, it becomes active as if it's happening again, energetic, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And the life circumstances that we are in now today, right? That partner who maybe is the alcoholic, and we are hoping that they're somehow miraculously going to change with our love and our help. They are actually the ones that are pulling those energetic partners to us because they're a match.
Right. That makes so much sense.
Yeah. And if you look at it from a broader perspective, it pulls that aspect of, it pulls, like attracts like, so that fragmented energy is pulling a fragmented partner closer to it. And from the broader perspective, it's all divinely designed.
Absolutely.
Because it's offering an opportunity for the healing.
Yeah, absolutely. And I found also the universe will always just say yes to you. You get to put that question out there by what you're energetically exuding, what you're thinking, and what you're asking.
Yes.
So if you are asking for that trauma, that's why you get the 3 marriages where you have the same situation, because you're still asking for that energetically in some way, and that has to do with what you just said. It's being pinched off.
It's the unresolved
and so you're
trauma.
Still exuding that energy.
Exactly.
The beautiful thing about that is we now know that we can work that muscle. We can work that kink out of the hose.
Right.
And that is what your book is here to help. That's what this channel is all about. That's what this Age of Awakening is all about.
Yes.
Which is such a beautiful, beautiful thing. So what other information do you have? Like, I know you give retreats and different things like that. I know we can only go into it a little bit, but how would you like for people to receive that information?
Thank you, Mika. I work with clients in private sessions all over the world via Zoom or in person, doing the same energetic process. So I'm a medium for the fragmented energy parts, the inner child, any aspect of the person that's holding on to trauma. So I meet with them in that aspect, individual healing sessions. And then I hold private retreats here for people to come out to this beautiful, incredibly gorgeous land.
Amazing. Literally paradise.
Yeah, and it's about a 4-hour retreat. They drive out here, they sit on the land, and it's a beautiful opportunity for them to connect to some beautiful herbal teas that I prepare for them. We talk about intentions, and then we move into a small plant medicine ceremony where they get to completely come out of the mind and into their beautiful hearts.
Oh, it's so beautiful.
To receive that beautiful, potent wisdom of the medicine.
I love that so much because it is about stepping outside this image of yourself that you've created. And again, it's all meant to heal us and help us understand it. But if you can take a few minutes outside of that, your whole world really opens up because you're now thinking from a broader perspective.
Exactly that. No longer looking at things. The perspective is no longer coming from that wounded, fragmented part.
Yes. And so have you found in one of these sessions it has been able to heal, or does it take a little rocking back and forth sometimes?
Yeah,
I guess it depends on the depth of the trauma, for sure.
For sure. And it's different for everybody. We do talk about intentions before they sit with the medicine. So in the talking of the intentions, they will share, maybe they do want to connect to their inner child. And then we facilitate that. I lovingly, gently, offer that weaving that intention into their medicine journey. So a lot of times they will connect to their inner child and have that beautiful dialogue that maybe they wouldn't ordinarily be able to have without the medicine.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure, because that does take away those inhibitions and just that sense of self, to be honest, so that you are in such a free-flowing state.
Exactly.
For sure.
Yeah.
And so I know that you say that you've channeled and spoken, you do with your clients, you speak as their inner child, or you've even shared some stories with me. What's that like? I mean, what's it like when you're channeling, or do you even know that you're doing it? Because I know sometimes it's you're completely gone.
Yes.
And you're kind of taken over by the energy.
Right.
Are you aware of it when you're done? Or
there's two different ways that I move through it. So the first way is with the individual sessions, and the client is asking for me to connect to the aspects of them that have been pinched off due to trauma. And in that aspect, I'm serving as a bridge. So I am still very much here, but I'm also reading the quantum field for that aspect of them. So that's where I will begin to intentionally connect to their 5-year-old or their 13-year-old or their, and so it is me, but I'm reading the energy of their field and I'm relaying the message. I'm also dialoguing with that aspect of them.
So it's a full channel experience, like ebbing and flowing, if you will. You're giving and receiving at the same time.
Absolutely.
That information, and you're aware of that.
I'm aware of that, and I'm communicating to them exactly what these aspects of them are sharing and needing. That is the biggest thing.
This sounds like something I could sign up for, to be honest. I have a few things I need to work out for this year.
It's powerful. I do it for myself.
Honestly, it sounds like it would be.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Yeah.
And then the other way that the channeling happens is sometimes there's something really big that the client is moving through, and a broader, bigger energy wants to drop in besides their fragmented parts.
Sure.
And these are ascended masters, they're ancient wisdom keepers, and I will always know because it feels like a collective that drops in on my right-hand side.
Oh, that's beautiful.
When they drop in, I step aside.
Right. That makes so much sense.
Yeah, and I completely allow the transmission to flow through me. It's always of love and incredible wisdom. Yeah.
Oh, that is so beautiful. Oh, I literally just got the chills imagining that. I mean, I know as a tarot reader, I'm channeling and interpreting and things like that, and I can imagine having that experience, really literally, because I have, especially being a musician, you step outside yourself and you just let spirit take over.
That's it.
It's kind of like the similar process, it sounds like.
Exactly, Mika.
Yeah.
And that's exactly the organic process that has happened for me personally as a healer, as a woman, with the book. After I launched the book, this new energy, new yet I'd known about it. I'd received a spiritual name some years ago. But with the launch of the book and all of that I put into the book, and this energy of Shamira came through, came back, and has been embodying more and more of my physical experience. Now that this chapter of my life has stepped aside, it's out in the world, it's doing what it will do to help people, and the channeling has gotten so much stronger. The intuitive gifts, it's very earthly, it's very shamanic, it's very potent.
I love
and
it so much.
this is all Shamira.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. I know we talked about that a little bit when I got here, and yeah, I would love for you to go. So I know you were saying you had received this name a long time ago. Obviously, we received those seeds.
Yeah.
And so now that you've addressed your trauma with writing this book, you feel even more open. And so that is could very well be the name of your spirit. It could be your high priestess vibes, your goddess vibes, now shining through. Can you tell us how that's impacting how you move today?
Yeah, thanks for asking, Mika. A couple of years ago, I was in a beautiful meditation. Again, those intentional, private times with myself. I usually have them in the morning. And in that morning process, I had this beautiful vision of all of these masters coming in. And as they came in, they put something on my head. And the something on my head had a small mirror here, right? So it was like a crown. And it was like an anointing at the time.
Oh, yeah.
And I heard the name Shamira. And when I heard the name, I thought, why Shamira? And what I received back, this bee wants to connect with us. What I received back was, why Shamira? What I received back was, she mirrors the truth of that which someone is back to them.
Oh, that is so perfect for you, especially with your ability to channel and speak and communicate.
Exactly, Mika. So that was a few years ago, and I just it was so beautiful. I was in tears, and it was such a beautiful experience somatically in my body. It felt so elevating and so potent. But I kind of tucked it in my pocket because at that time in my life, I wasn't about to change my name or do any of that.
Yeah.
But with the launch of the book in September of 2024, something energetically started to move through me. And it felt as if Veronica was being released with the book.
Oh, that is so good.
And
I'm just like, that's so good.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
love it.
And Shamira has been coming in more and more, this beautiful embodiment, to the point where I just had a small circle here for New Year's at my house. And in the middle of the night, I received this beautiful intuitive guidance to have a ritual where each of the ladies would have a rock, a small rock that they would hold that I gathered from the land before the event. And while they were sharing what they were releasing of 2024, they were holding the rock from the land. I had a bowl with these beautiful flowers in the center, and when they were done sharing what they were releasing in 2024, they placed their rock inside of this bowl of salt and flowers. And it was so beautiful.
That is.
And this is Shamira's energy. She's very earthly. She's very wise.
I love it. Like a divine mother, it sounds like. Yeah,
very shamanic.
Yeah.
She has these beautiful healing modalities.
Oh, that is so exciting. That is so exciting. And so now that Veronica has healed, she's becoming her high priestess, or her, oh, that is so perfect.
Mika.
That is so wonderful.
Yeah, and it's such an interesting process, right? Because when we go through transformation and we go through healing, there are aspects of our old self that want to hold on.
Yes, because I was going to say, as beautiful as it is and sounds, how did you deal with that, or did you deal with that? Because it was a organic process for you. Were you just ready to shed that, and now it's gone, or do you still? Because I know they want to know, how do you get through those times?
It's a process, right?
Yeah.
It's such a process.
It is. It's totally back and forth and
It's-
ebbing and flowing and trusting and releasing and accepting. And
this is
yeah.
it, because
Yeah.
that too is part of the refining. It's part of the rebuilding, or potency that we're embodying. It all that back and forth. Let go. Oh, hold on. Let go. Surrender. Trust.
And that relief that you find in those moments is totally worth the back and forth sometimes, because it's big. You're just like, oh yeah, this feels good to just be.
Yes. And
This
the
feels
biggest
good.
thing with the letting go, Mika, for me, has been to truly step into faith.
You must. There is no other way to do it.
There is no other way
There's just
to do it.
no other way to do it, because you are going to be forced into situations where you've got to.
You've got a free fall.
Yeah.
And you get to choose.
Absolutely.
And that free fall is going to ask you to have unwavering faith.
But you get the most results, relief, and evidence when you choose faith. I know every single time I have, it turned out even more spectacular than if I had tried to bang it into place and move things around to fix it.
Exactly that.
And so I think that's the point, is for us to realize that there shouldn't be any fear.
Yeah.
Someone told me one time before that faith and fear, those two things are things that have never happened. You can choose which one you want to believe.
Yeah.
So why not choose the faith, because neither have happened.
Yeah. And for those of us who are survivors of trauma, faith is really hard.
Oh, absolutely.
Right?
And trust and things like that. Yeah, absolutely.
We need tangible things to hold on to. We need
Yeah.
safety. We need security. So when you're coming to these places of really trusting, surrendering, and letting go to your higher power, whatever you define that to be for yourself, it really is an act of courage that we get to step into now, stepping away from surviving and stepping into the rise.
Yes.
Thriving.
Yes, thriving. That is so, and honestly, that is what this energy that I can feel for 2025 is about, thriving. I feel like we went through our survival stages, and again, not that everything is just going to flow perfectly, but it's how you perceive those things.
That's right.
Is whether or not they're turning out a certain way, or this horrible, catastrophe.
Yes.
Because I've also learned that if you can just keep the peace in the moment, love and live authentically, you're fine.
Yes.
You're gonna be fine.
Yes.
And then you're gonna be more apt to choose that faith.
Yes.
Yeah.
And a fundamental piece that I have found to be instrumental in being able to do all of that has been having some type of devotional practice.
Must.
Yes. So having that time in the morning where you are reflective, you are quiet, you are meditating, you're
receiving,
praying,
yes.
whatever it is that it looks like for you.
Mm-hmm.
But for me, that's been imperative.
Yeah.
To be able to sustain myself, the survivor in me that really needs something to hold on to for a sense of security and safety. To really reprogram that and to shed those old ways of being.
Absolutely. And I think even though we are in this time of awakening and more people are leaning towards that end, I feel like that is the struggle for most people, like expecting things to turn out differently, positive expectancy, seeing the magic instead of what's all around us constantly trying to, so you really do have to choose.
Right.
And I found that helps me stay balanced throughout the day, just giving that devotion, even if, like you said, however that looks for you, just gratitude is enough.
Right. Absolutely.
It's enough to get you through the things that are trying to force your attention.
Yes. And
incessantly, really.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, Mika. And the universe really does reward bravery. A couple of years ago, I was working full-time at a local hospital in trauma counseling and outpatient psychiatry. and doing my devotional work on the side. But at some point, after being there for about 10 years, I had a huge pull. You know the pull.
Yo, the pull.
You know the pull.
You gotta go, or you're gonna feel that you're not going.
Yeah, it's like every day
Yeah.
you wake up and you hear that thing. You feel
Yeah.
that pull. You know it's time to end the relationship. You know it's time to leave the job.
Yeah.
You know that pull.
Oh, yes.
And the pull was there, and it was asking me to leave the safety and security of the full-time job.
And that's when you know it's spirit. Because
Yes.
you are going to have to come up against those fears
Yes.
to choose that faith or fear.
Absolutely, Mika.
Oh, yeah.
You got it.
That is, and thank God that you chose faith, because
chose faith.
you've expanded beyond probably anything you could have even perceived at that moment.
Absolutely. And faith oftentimes feels like you're free falling.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, if you don't have those butterflies in your stomach, that ain't faith.
I'm gonna be sick.
Yeah.
I got anxiety. I'm sweating. How am I going to pay the bills? How am I going to do this?
That is
Right?
so
All
true.
the things.
Yeah.
But we get to, that's part of the refining as well.
Yeah, and I'm finding that, again, the more you choose that faith, the easier it is to choose faith, because you
Yes.
start to see evidence of when you choose faith over fear.
Yes.
Or you can make the correlation between what you're exuding and what you're receiving,
yes,
as well.
absolutely.
So I find I find it such a beautiful thing, especially to meet someone who is really stepping into shamanic healing and practices, because it's so much deeper than even what I'm doing. I'm just interpreting messages that I receive, and it's like I'm so excited to expand to that level of becoming, because I can feel myself as a high priestess or
Yes,
as somebody,
Mika.
like I
Yes.
feel like, excuse me, let me get to my seat, everybody. I've been over here, but now I'm ready to sit here
up front,
in my
Mama.
throne, and I feel like
Yes.
everybody should feel that way.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and I think that your healing trauma is, again, across the board, what you've gone through. To you, if it was traumatic, it's trauma.
Right.
So I think that's the first step, is at least addressing it, embracing it, looking at it and saying, I'm just going to love you.
Yes.
All of you.
Aspects,
Yes.
all
yeah.
of that.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. And I think that's the fastest way to unkink that hose.
Yes, yeah. And I wanted to share a little bit, Mika, about
Yeah,
what you
please
were
do.
sharing about, you stepping into this goddess, you stepping into this high priestess, right? Like the thing with that is that it will take honoring the pull and then having the courage to free fall,
Yes.
right? To free fall.
Yes. And that's where I'm at now, like trying to just go ahead and looking over the edge, like I'm about to jump, guys, but
Yeah.
it's hard.
And then having the free fall moment, falling in faith, right? You're falling in faith. That degree of bravery is what brings the energy of the goddess. It is what the universe then says, bestowed upon you.
Oh,
Bestow upon you, for you have
That's
claimed
beautiful.
it to be.
claimed it to
We
be.
must ourselves claim it to be. No one is coming to claim it for. No one came to help me do this.
Absolutely, nobody is coming to save you, and that is another
Yes.
thing that I have definitely learned throughout this journey. But
Right.
I'm excited because I can save myself.
Yes,
There's
Mika.
yeah. Oh, that's so perfect.
We get to.
Yeah, and
We
I feel
get
like if
to.
I'm seeing that and feeling that, then I'm on the right track. It's
Yes.
letting me know that you do belong here. We
Yes.
all do.
Yes, Mika.
So understanding in this time of awakening, it levels the playing field. Like
yes.
anything is truly possible.
Yes, and are we rising with
Right.
the up
Because
level?
like you were saying, you were feeling that pull.
Yes.
You don't have to do anything because
No, I
you've
could've
got the
stayed
free
right there.
will, but you would know, and it would
Yes.
keep coming up until
Yes.
you answer the call, because it won't stop calling you.
Exactly. And how you know you're ignoring the call is you feel like you're slowly dying.
I was gonna say,
Inside.
you really feel like shit.
Yeah.
You really
Because
do.
You are. You're
Yeah.
slowly dying inside.
Well, you're going opposite of life.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, that is such a perfect analogy, because that is how you know you can go with the flow, or you can feel everything slapping you against the face because you're not faced in the right direction.
That's right.
Oh, that is so perfect. This is such a beautiful conversation. Is there anything else that you want to share with these guys before we wrap up the interview?
Oh,
This
my
has been so
gosh.
wonderful.
Yeah, it's
I
been
would love
so
to have you
beautiful,
on another
Mika.
episode and maybe talk a
Yeah.
little bit more about what else you do and
Yeah.
maybe delve a little deeper into the practices, the shamanic healing and the plant medicine and
Absolutely.
things like that. I think it's important to see different perspectives
Yeah, I'd
because
love to.
everyone is living their own perspective. So whatever's going to get you there.
Yes.
That is my motto.
Yes.
Yeah.
Pay attention to what feels in resonance for you, what feels interesting to you, what you feel curious about. Those are your modalities.
Yes,
Those are your ways to step forward.
And typically I've found that first thought is the one you want. That's your impulse. That's your intuition telling you. Most thoughts after that is telling you, talking you into or out of whatever the first thought was. So try to listen to those nudges, because that's also one of the things that has helped me get a little further along the path with these.
Yeah, and one of what I'll add, Mika, is those nudges are these little angels. Those nudges are often our littles knocking on our hearts, asking us, will you be the one to sit with me? Will you be the one to love me, to hear me? Because they've got things to say.
Yeah.
They've got tears to cry, and no one else is coming. You are it. We are it. So the more that we can really make a commitment to that, in this new year and this new time, this time of awakening, the more that you can really commit. You're not committing to anyone outside of yourself. How often do we do that, right? We give to everybody else but ourselves. Yes. Yeah. But if you can really take that energy and bring it into your own beautiful heart, I promise you the transformation that can happen for us is it's incredible.
It's
how
everything.
Our lives can change.
Yeah, it is. It really does open things up. It makes life easier, and you're really living a different experience than most people.
Yes, because we do not want those aspects of us hijacking our nervous system and jumping in the driver's seat of our life anymore. Mm-hmm. We want them safely buckled up in their car seat so we can be driving. Yes.
And we want them happy. We don't want them kicking and screaming in the back while we're driving. Exactly. So it's a collective thing, And I guess my final question would be, how will you know, like for the people that are watching and who are maybe finding it hard to connect to their inner child or even hear them? Yeah. Do you have any advice on how they might know? Or I know meditation, but is there any other way they can connect to it or confirm? One
of the things that I tell people, because a lot of people are afraid to connect to their inner child, they've been repressed and suppressed for so many years, or maybe there's sexual assault. I mean, there's all kinds of traumas out there. So it might be a little intimidating to try to connect to them for fear of what they will share. So what I tell people is to hold an awareness in your life of how you are moving through difficult situations. Because chances are, when those difficult times happen, when you become activated and triggered, it's actually that younger aspect of you that's coming alive and embodying you. They're taking over. So I invite people to really know that, because we don't want these littles overriding us and leading in our lives. So by us holding, and here's the key, by us holding a detached perspective. In other words, it's not me, it's something outside of me that I'm connecting to. This little girl, this little boy who just came running up to me because they're scared, or they feel alone, or they're terrified of this man that reminds them of somebody from the past. Stay detached, hold your current awareness, and from that place, dialogue with them. Be the adult
I love that
they never had.
Wow, that's so beautiful. Yeah. Because a lot of the times we will just let them take over and things feel out of control when the kids are driving.
Yes, exactly.
I love that perspective too, just because, again, a lot of people, hear these terms like inner child, inner being, trauma even, and just to hear it explained in that way, because they might mistakenly think, oh yeah, I need to let my inner child just take over, and now they're running amok, making reckless choices, and still living a reckless life.
Yeah.
But I love having them happy in the back seat so that we can drive comfortably to the
Yes.
destinations that we're headed towards.
Yeah.
That is a beautiful, beautiful analogy.
So the invitation really is to scan your life, look at your life, and look at the times in your life where you've moved through something in a less than skilled way, in a way that you maybe regret later on. And those are the opportunities for you to pinpoint and identify what aspect of you hijacked you in that moment.
Oh, I'm already thinking of several. And I'm like, you know what? Now that you're explaining it kind of makes sense.
Exactly.
Yeah, that was who was in control during some of those times.
Exactly.
Wow.
Yeah.
This was an amazing conversation, and to be honest, such an eye-opening experience for me. I appreciate you being on the show. Like I said, I definitely want to have Miss Veronica Paris, Shamira Paris. She's going to be, you can get her book, Transcend the Trauma. It's available on Amazon. We're going to have all the links in the descriptions. Do you have a website?
I do. It's veronicaparis.com.
Okay, so we're going to definitely have any links if you want to connect to her, or if you'd like to experience, one of her retreats or some counseling, some one-on-one counseling. Definitely reach out to her. Thank you again for joining us on the first episode of the I Came to Win podcast, and I am so blessed to have had such a magical conversation for the inaugural episode. Thank you again for joining us. Do you have anything else you want to say to the peeps before we go?
No, thank you so much for your time.
All right. We love you guys. Take care of each other. Peace.